Now we'll talk about the agarose gel electrophoresis. So I just put agarose gel here. We'll talk about the agarose gel electrophoresis. So agarose gel electrophoresis, it is mainly used for separation of DNA and RNA. So these two things are mainly used for separation, but generally the RNA separation is it is mainly separated in SDS page. I mean not SDS, it's simply the RNA page. So we will discuss it in the next class. So now will discuss about agarose gel electrophoresis. It is mainly used for separation of DNA, and it is not commonly used for separation of RNA. So for RNA, we use the RNA page. So in case of agarose gel, so this is made up of agarose beads. Okay, so agarose actually it is obtained from a seaweed. Okay, so here what happens when I have shown you in my earlier session that you have the monomers. Okay, and these monomers they just join together to form a chain, and these chains are cross linked, okay, to form the network like structure. Okay, so in case of agarose, what happens when you take the agarose powder, it is in monomeric form, and you put the agarose inside of liquid. It may be water or it may be any buffer. Then you boil it. After boiling, what happens? These agarose monomers they get activated and then they form the polymer, and you get the gel. Okay, so gel formation in agarose occurs through physical means. In case of SDS page, I mean, in case of polyacrylamide, excuse me. Okay, so in case of polyacrylamide gel electrophoresis or polyacrylamide gel, okay, so here what happens? The gel formation occurs through chemical means. In agarose, the gel formation occurs by physical means. That means you just take the agarose powder, boil it, you will form a polymer. Okay. Now the electrolyte solution which we use in the agarose gel electrophoresis. So we'll discuss about it. So there are two types of. I'll use the different whiteboard here. So here, two types of electrolyte solution is used for agarose gel electrophoresis. So the number one is called TAE buffer. We call it TAE buffer, and the second one is called TBE buffer. And there is a third type of buffer which is not commonly used. I have seen only in the literature. That is the TPE buffer. So most commonly used buffers are TAE buffer, TBE buffer, and these two are most commonly used. Now we talk about what is meant by TAE. What does this TAE stands for? So TAE, that T stands for tris. Okay. Then A stands for acetate. Okay. Fine. And E stands for EDT. Right. Then the same thing here in case of TBE buffer. So here the B stands for borate. B stands for borate. And in case of TPE buffer, the P stands for phosphate. So we are not going to discuss about the third one. We'll discuss only the first and second because these are commonly used. So now let us discuss about what is this, what is the function of the tris here. Okay, so tris acts as buffer. Okay, and tris maintains the pH (8.2). So this actually why the 8.2 pH is required, because we are using the agarose gel electrophoresis for separation of DNA. Okay, so in the textbook you have read that DNA has got negative charge at pH 7. That means the DNA does not carry charge at acidic pH. What happens? You know, the pH is just the concentration of H positive ions. When the pH is less, you have higher amount of H plus ions. So when you are having a DNA solution, if you lower the pH, that means you are increasing the H plus ion. So what will happen? The DNA has got negative charge. These H plus ion, they will bind to the negative charge, and then the DNA becomes neutral. Okay, so in acidic pH the DNA becomes neutral, and you know that electrophoresis is the movement of the charged particles. Uncharged particles do not move. Okay, so if you lower the pH, DNA will lose its charge, it will become neutral. So neutral particles do not move in an electrophoresis. So that is why the pH should be more, it should be 7 or more than 7. So why the pH is kept at 8? Why not 7? Because if you keep the pH at 7, what will happen? There is every possibility of decreasing the pH towards acidic side. That is why it is kept at 8. So 8.2 is the optimum. It's the best pH. Okay, for DNA. So DNA will remain. So now the basic idea is to keep the DNA in the state of negative charge. Okay, so this is the function of the tris buffer here. Now the second thing that we are going to discuss is the acetate or borate. What is their function? So these two components, they act as electrolyte, because we have already discussed that to run an electrophoresis you should have an electrolyte solution. Okay, so acetate and borate, these two are the actual electrolytes. Now you see, acetate comes from acetic acid, borate comes from boric acid. Okay, if you do not add tris, what will happen? Acetic acid, it is acidic, the pH will be less, your DNA will not move. That is why it is essential to add the tris over there to keep the pH at alkaline level. Okay, so acetate or borate, they act as an electrolyte. Then the next component that comes is EDTA. Okay, so you know, in case of hematology, what for the EDTA is used?
Anticoagulant.
Anticoagulant. Normally it is used as anticoagulant. Okay, so how the EDTA prevents coagulation of the blood? How it is? How does it, you know, prevents blood coagulation? EDTA, if you just look into the EDTA, what is actually EDTA? So EDTA basically it is as So EDTA has the property of chelation of divalent cation. So EDTA, if you see its structure, it is a complex compound. If you just go back to your school days in chemistry, you must have read about a separate type of compounds called complex compounds. So they are bonded by some complex bonds. They are not covalent bonds. So now what the EDTA actually does, EDTA chelates. Chelates means it covers, okay, or it covers the divalent cation and makes these cations inert. Inert means useless. They cannot have any function. Any compound having no function is called inert. So divalent cations, they are the divalent cations, they are masked or they are chelated by EDTA. So these divalent cations, they become useless or they become functionless. They become inert. Okay. So mainly the divalent cations which you find is calcium ions, calcium 2 positive ions, then magnesium ions, calcium and magnesium ions. So these are the divalent. Divalent means having two valency, two positive. Okay. So calcium and magnesium. Now the calcium and magnesium, these two cations, divalent cations are required by the blood coagulating enzymes to carry out the blood coagulation. So EDTA, what it does, it chelates these divalent cations. So what happens? These divalent cations, after getting chelated, they become inert. Okay, so blood coagulation is prevented. Now, what is the function of these compounds? You see, the agarose which we use, so this agarose is generally not pure. It used to have the contamination of calcium and magnesium ions. So So agarose used to have the contamination of calcium and magnesium ions. Now you see, if I just go back to my earlier picture, you see, we have discussed that the molecules, we have earlier in the first when we started our class, we discussed that the anions move from cathode to anode, and cations move from reverse, anode to cathode. So that means the cations. So these cations, what they will do, they will move from anode to cathode, and your DNA, it is moving from anode to cathode. So cations and your DNA are moving in the opposite direction. So what will happen? Your gel is contaminated with calcium and magnesium ions, and these calcium and magnesium ions, they are moving in the opposite direction. Okay, and your DNA is moving towards anode, these cations are moving towards cathode. Okay, so what will happen? Your migration of the DNA will not be proper because they will strike against each other. Okay, so that is why we are using the EDTA. If we don't use EDTA, still the DNA will migrate, but the migration of the DNA will not be proper. That means the separation of the DNA will not be proper. Okay, if you forget to add the EDTA. Okay, so this was about the buffer that we are to use. Okay, now the next thing that we are to discuss is about the loading die, DNA loading die. If we just go back to this slide, see here, what is there? Let me show it in proper way. Let me take out some other say normally what happens, your gel actually looks like this. This is your gel submerged inside the electrolyte solution, either TAE or TBE. Okay. Now I am showing the side view of the gel. Okay, fine. So let's say this side of the gel, you have the anode, and this side you have the cathode. Okay, fine. So now in the gel we used to have the well. So well looks like this. So well looks like this. Fine. So what you will have to, and this complete your gel is submerged in an electrolyte solution. This side is anode, and this side is, sorry, this side is cathode, and this side is anode, and then it is submerged here. Now if you load the DNA over there, what will happen? Your DNA should settle down into the bottom of the well. So it is called well. So this depression in the gel where the DNA is loaded, it is called well. Okay. So your DNA should settle down into the bottom of the well. Okay. But practically what will happen, because the DNA has got very less density. Its density is less than water. So what will happen once you load the DNA into the well, the DNA will come out of the well. It will float in the electrolyte solution. It will not go down to the, because your DNA should go down to the bottom of the well. Then only it will enter the gel, and then it will separate. If it doesn't go here, it will comes out, then your purpose is not solved. So for that reason, to settle the DNA into the bottom of the well, we will have to increase the density of the DNA. So for this reason, we use DNA gel loading buffer. So specifically, we call it 6x gel loading dye, or sometimes we call it buffer. So 6x means we understand that it is for DNA only. Okay. Now let us look into what are the composition of this particular gel loading buffer. So if we look into the composition, okay, so first component is the bromophenol blue. Then second component is the xylene cyanol, and a third component is the sucrose. Okay. So we'll discuss what is the function of these things. So first two components, this one and this one. So these two components, they are called tracking dye. Tracking dye. Now tracking dye, what happens? This tracking dye, they have got negative charge. Okay. So these two dye, okay, there's the first dye, bromophenol blue, it is blue color, navy blue. And the second one, xylene cyanol, it is violet color. Okay. And the bromophenol blue, it is called backward dye. And this second one, xylene cyanol, it is called forward dye. That means what happens once you run the gel, okay, these dye will enter the gel and they will migrate. Okay. Now you see, once the DNA is entering the gel and it is migrating towards anode, you cannot track the movement of the DNA. You cannot see the DNA. Okay. But what you can see is the dye. So if the dye is moving, means your DNA is also moving. Okay. So generally what we do, once the dye, this forward dye, when it comes to the middle of the gel, we stop the electrophoresis. Okay, fine. So this is just to track the movement of the DNA. Okay. Then sucrose. So sucrose actually, what it does, it increases sucrose increases the density of the DNA. Okay. So now what will happen when you add sucrose? Now DNA density becomes more and it becomes heavy. So when you will load it into the gel, it will settle down into the bottom of the well. Okay. Otherwise, it will not settle. Okay. What will happen? Supposing that you forgot to add sucrose and you added only this dye. So what will happen? The dye also will not settle down into the bottom of the well. Dye, the density of the dye is also very less. So immediately it will come out and it will spread in the electrolyte solution. Okay, it will not go to the well. So gel loading dye has got two functions. Number one, it through the tracking dye, it will track the movement of the DNA. Okay, and through sucrose, this will increase the density of the DNA that will facilitate the settling down of the DNA into the bottom of the well. Okay, fine. Okay. Now, this was all about the gel and the DNA loading. Okay. So what we do, say, this is the gel. This is the gel from front side. Okay. And here, say, this part is the anode, and towards this side we have the this side is anode, this side is cathode. Upper side is anode, cathode. So the DNA will move in this direction. Okay, and then here we used to have the depressions in the gel. So these depressions in the gel, so they are called wells. Okay, so what you will do, you just take your DNA sample, okay, having mixture of DNA molecules, just you have to put it into these wells and switch on the electrophoresis. So what will happen, after some times you will find that this dye, because you cannot see the DNA, but what you can see is the dye. So you will get two types of dye, okay, forward dye and backward dye. So this is the violet color dye. Okay, fine. So now the dye starts coming from here. So initially these two dye will be together. After sometimes they will separate. Okay. So generally what we do, once this dye comes to the middle of the gel, we switch off the electrophoresis. Okay. Now after switching off the electrophoresis, the next thing that we have to do is to view the separation of the DNA. How to view? Because you cannot see the DNA. Okay. So now for viewing of the DNA, we'll have to stain the DNA in a particular dye that is called ethidium bromide. Ethidium bromide. So what the ethidium bromide does, ethidium bromide enters the ethidium bromide compound is a plate-like compound. That means it is having the ring shape. So it is just like a plate. So you know that DNA has got double helical structure. So between two strands of the DNA, this compound gets entered. So that is called intercalation. So ethidium bromide intercalates two strands of the DNA. So you have two strands of the DNA. Between them will go and intercalate, will enter like this. Okay. Then after this, once the gel is exposed to the stain made up of ethylium bromide, okay, then this will be viewed in under UV light. Under UV light, what happens? The if you just remember from your school days that once a light that falls on a compound, okay, that light is absorbed, and after that it emits a different light of different wavelength. That means if you have, this is a compound, okay, and to this compound when a light falls, okay, this light is absorbed by the compound, okay, and after that this compound emits the light, the same light is emitted, but the emitted light wavelength is different from the original light which was absorbed. So this is called absorbed light and this is called emitted light. So emitted light used to have different wavelength. So now in case of ethylium bromide, what happens? It absorbs the UV light, okay, and emits the light in the visible range. That means you cannot see the UV light, but you can see the light which is having the wavelength in the visible range. So what happens? This ethylium bromide, it absorbs UV light and emits the light of the color orange color. That means it emits the light having wavelength of orange color. Okay, so your this particular light which is emitted, this will be of orange color. Okay, so what will happen after staining the DNA? When you will see it under UV, then you will find this kind of bands. Okay, say here so like this sort of bands you will observe. Okay, so now let's say these in this example I am showing 4 wells. Okay, say this is the, I would say this is the well number 1, put a black color. It is a well number 1, this is well number 2, this is well number 3, and this is say well number 4. Okay, so now I had 4 different samples. Okay, so what you find here is that these bands that you are seeing, this one band indicates DNA molecule of a particular size. Now say this is one DNA molecule, this is one DNA molecule. Okay, fine. So now what you find is that this in the sample number 1, this particular DNA molecule is the smallest DNA. This is bigger DNA. This is again, it is bigger than the second one, and this one is the biggest DNA. Okay, now in this sample, the second sample, so you had only 2 types of DNA molecules. This is the smallest one, okay, and this is the biggest one. Okay, so now this is how we separate the DNA, and what you find here in this particular example, this DNA molecule in the sample 1 is equal to this DNA molecule of sample 3 because they are migrating together. That means the DNA molecules having similar size will migrate together. Okay, fine. And I would say that say this particular DNA molecule in the sample 4 is, its size is equal to this particular DNA molecule in sample 1. Okay, so I'll show you in the next class that how we can calculate the calculate the molecular weight of the DNA molecules using agarose gel electrophoresis. Okay, so okay, so if you have any question you may ask. So if time permits, I will demonstrate the agarose gel electrophoresis in our lab. Okay, so do you have any question? Okay, so if there is no questions, then what I'll do is that in the next class we will discuss about the SDS page. Okay, fine. And
So,
yeah, any questions? Okay, no questions, fine. So we'll discuss about SDS page. Okay, and then I'll show you how to calculate the molecular weights of the bands. Okay, okay, everybody has got the, I don't know, because you have gone home very quickly in very short notice. Uh, have you taken your laptops with you, or it is not there with you?
Yes, yes.
Everybody has their.
yes, sir.
So everybody has their own computers. Okay, fine.
No, sir, I don't have.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you don't have. Uh,
No, sir.
okay, if possible, if you try to manage from somebody. Okay, what I was thinking is that in the due course of time, we will discuss how to do the statistical analysis of the biochemical data and all. eh? So for that, we are using the R software. Okay, so you can download the R software, and if you do not have, if you did not bring your laptop with you, so I would suggest that just you try to manage from somebody, from your neighbors and all. Okay, so we'll do it. huh? So I think this will be helpful to you for your research also. Okay.
So what software?